Eminence, Pope Francis, Your Eminences, the Cardinals, Your Graces, the Archbishops, Your Lordships, Bishops, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, and other dignitaries, my brother priests and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me honor to participate and speak to you during this historic symposium marking the 68th anniversary of the canonization of the Martyrs of Uganda. The theme selected for this event is greatly significant, considering the environmental and the climate crisis the world is faced with today. Until now, the link between the Uganda Martyrs and the Internal Ecology has not been adequately explored. Fortunately for us, there is a body of teachings within the Catholic theology that illustrate the relationship between sainthood, martyrdom, and the Internal Ecology, and these will form the basis of my reflection this afternoon. Hagiographical texts are awash with accounts of saints and martyrs who had special attachment to nature, a practice that originated with the early Christian communities. The way early Christians experienced nature was informed by the notion and belief that nature was a product of divine creative act. To them, it was a clear statement and manifestation of that divine inscription that could be interpreted just like the pages of scriptures in a systematic way. It was this kind of interpretation that gave rise to the notion that nature had meaning. In nature, the Christian communities could, therefore, infer meaning and make sense of it in their everyday acts and experiences. The stewardship of nature was, thus, understood as an act of partaking in God's own creative work, a response to the command given only to man and a woman because of their special place in creation, as we read in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28. In the case of the martyrs, God uses their blood to sanctify nature. It is therefore not by accident that the various places where the Uganda martyrs were killed are considered holy places. What does this martyr ecology relationship teach us? As St. Paul points out, nature is not God, but a product of his creative wisdom. Worship of nature is therefore idolatry, an act abhorred by God, as he told us in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 4 to 6. Even John in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 21, and Paul in the letter to the Romans, chapter 1, verse 21 to 23. From a Christian viewpoint, nature should instead lead us to the Creator, who St. Thomas Aquinas refers to as the prime mover. Following the tradition of their ancestors in the faith, the Uganda Martyrs rejected some of the traditional worship of their time and the various dimensions of God. For example, the god of the lake, who was called Mukasa, the god of death, who was called Warumbe, and the god of the hunters, who was called Dungu, and many others. And instead, the martyrs chose to worship the true living God. Uganda Martyrs further remind us about our vocation to stewardship of creation. Rather than see nature as subjugate to us, we are called to recognize creation as a gift of God. The saints and the martyrs, including the Uganda Martyrs, recognize the symbiotic relationship that exists between humans and nature. The acknowledgement that we cannot exist or thrive without the rest of creation. Pope Francis brings out this point in the encyclical Laudato Si. In practice, this calls us to conserve forests, water bodies, wetlands, soils, and other elements of nature. It also challenges us to manage waste in a manner not detrimental to human and animal health and to the rest of nature, and to effectively enforce environmental and climate policies and laws that enhance the protection and restoration of nature. In recognition of their identity and attachment to nature, the Uganda Martyrs retained their totems, for example, which was another way by which the Uganda ethnic group preserved nature. The totems represented clans and included, for example, the colobus monkey in Uganda called Engeye clan, to which Saint Buza Baliao belonged. Take for another example, the bushback, which represents the Ngabi clan, to which Saint Charles Wanga belonged. And then the type of fish called the langfish in Uganda, Mamba clan, to which Saint Kizito belonged. The theme of this symposium, therefore, fits well within the broader Christian meaning of martyr-ecology relationship. The martyrs of Uganda are not an exception. Like the other Christians, martyrs and saints, we are called to embrace the notion of integral ecology as God's own creative design, and the human person as part of it. The notion integral ecology not only reminds us about our origin as humans, but also the reality to which we shall return. The practical implications were demonstrated by the Uganda Martyrs in their love for nature. We are, therefore, called upon to follow their footsteps and love nature, because nature represents God's own love for humanity. Loving nature means conserving and protecting our forests, water bodies, wetlands, soils, and other elements of nature, effectively managing waste and avoiding all acts detrimental to the environment. Once again, I thank the organizers of this symposium and the participants for your participation. I believe that the ideas shared in this event will go a long way in reawakening our collective sense of integral ecology and embolden us in our efforts to restore the face of the universe. May God bless you all. I am Bishop Joseph Anthony ZZIWA, Chairman of the Uganda Episcopal Conference and Bishop of Chiinda Mityana Diocese.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Archbishop Paul Semogerere, who is Archbishop of Kampala,